we're going to jump on this right now, guys. Anyways, my name is Brian Stevens. I'm with the National Real Estate Post and Listing Booster. And so today we're going to be talking about something a little different. We're going to be talking about KeyBoom. KeyBoom is a component that you have in Listing Booster that we haven't really marketed. We don't have a direction in terms of what we're going to do with it. We've built this thing out, and right now it's basically just sitting there. But this is really interesting. So what is KeyBoom? KeyBoom is the only interactive property search portal for televisions in not only the country but in the world. Zillow doesn't have it, Realtor.com doesn't have it, Redfin doesn't have it, nobody has it. And so you kind of think, well, why would you want something on a television? And here's the deal. On a television, your burn time, your experience is different than what it's going to be on a mobile device, on a laptop, or a tablet. I want you to think about this for a second. When you're watching a movie and your movie sucks, okay, how long will you sit there and watch it for? You know, you'll generally watch it for 20, 30 minutes before you say, okay, I'm not going to do this. If you ever read a book, how long will you commit to a book that you don't enjoy before you decide to put it down? Personally, I'm so dumb, I'll read the whole book, okay? But for most people, you know, you'll read a book for 10, 20, 30 pages, and you say, you know what, I'm not into this, and you'll move on to something else. Now, think about your experience on your computer. If you're watching a video that you don't like on a computer, how long will you watch it for? It's literally 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, you know, and you're moving on to something else. When you read an article or something online, you're going to skim the article in a few minutes to see if you want to commit to the 9 minutes to finish that whole thing. So, you know, with a computer, every single thing is just a very quick click away. So it's a very quick turn time on a computer. So when you're looking at properties on a television, your subconscious expectation is to sit there and look at it a little bit longer, kind of enjoy the moment, rather than looking at something on your laptop or your desktop or your phone, you know, where you're going to be looking at a 15 or a 19-inch monitor. You know, when you've got a 61-inch or 72-inch television, HD, you know, the properties look better. So when you think about ways that we can communicate as people, okay, we communicate with our computers and we communicate with our phones, you know, and of course our tablets and all that. The last means of communication that nobody has really looked at is televisions. Okay, and the reason we haven't looked at televisions is because it's always been a one-way flow of information where you are simply the consumer, okay? So you have your television, you turn it on, and you basically you're digesting what is being fed to you, all right? But now what's happening is there's a whole movement called cord cutters. And what cord cutters is the reason why ESPN just had to fire half of their staff. And it's because they're not making as much money. Why aren't they making as much money? Because people are disengaging from your traditional ways of looking at a television. So gone are the days of people having some type of cable or a satellite. And even right now, as we speak, DirecTV has moved away from the satellites. And so DirecTV right now, what you can do is you can get an app that goes on your smart television. And then what it does is it runs all of its channels through your broadband. I call it BYOB. Everybody knows that to be bring your own beer. BYOB is bring your own broadband. And so what happens is through broadband you can run all of your television stations. And cord cutting means you're no longer paying for these expensive packages to get all these channels. What you're doing is you're going to things like Apple TV to a lesser extent. You're going to Roku. You're going to Amazon TV and Android-based devices. And people are picking and choosing what they want to watch and how they want to pay for it. So when people are cutting the cord from their cable, when they're cutting the cord from the satellite dish, they're taking more control over their televisions. Now, something that me and my partners have figured out on this is that when you cut the cord and when you're using broadband and everything is kind of app-based, it allows you the ability to engage your television to a lesser extent, but very much like you would do with your computer. Meaning that you're not only absorbing information as we've done in the past with a traditional television, but you can now give information back to your television. It becomes a more interactive experience. And when something is interactive, that gives a great platform for salespeople like me and you to engage the public at large. Now, one thing I have always said as a great salesperson, you want to be a person who is creating content. You want to be engaging. You don't just want to be the consumer of content. And so what KeyBoom allows you to do as a salesperson, along with your real estate agent partners out there, is to create the content. Creating the content is the properties, the things that consumers are interested in looking at. I want to buy a house. Where do I want to buy it? How much am I going to spend? What amenities am I going to get? You know, it's really funny. Tess just brought up, do you really want everyone hearing the conversation that I was having with Lisa over here? Well, what Lisa did is she said, hey, I'm thinking about getting a place over in North Vacaville. What do you think about this? The deal looks too good to be true. So I'm looking at this, and it probably is. But what she's doing is trying to figure out, you know, where do I want to live? And so we're consuming content. So what KeyBoom allows us to do is create the content that people like Lisa and other people who are looking for housing are going to consume. And this is a great place for us. And the reason why it's great is because we're the only ones, not only in the country, but in the world, who are doing this. And I'll tell you this, if you want to be effective in sales, the best thing to do is not necessarily to be a great salesperson. Of course, that's a great idea. But what I have personally learned, the best thing to do is find a massive audience for what you're selling and be the only person selling it, okay? So like when we first started doing the National Real Estate Post, me and Frank, and Think Big, Work Small, and it became successful all around the country, why was it? Was it successful because we were, you know, super handsome, you know, I get mistaken for George Clooney all the time, that type of shit? No. Is it because we're super smart? No. I wish I could tell you it was, but it's not. The main reason it became successful is that we were the only people offering that product at the time in the country. We were the only people talking about the mortgage market and everything that was going wrong, and so people in the industry gravitated towards that. Now, what we had to do, of course, is take advantage of that opportunity, which we did. So KeyBoom is going to give you that opportunity as well. Now, so what we have is through Listing Booster, it gives us the ability to basically pull the information from almost every multiple listing system in the country. We've got direct feeds from Keller Williams, from Coldwell Banker, from Better Homes and Century 21. So we get all of their listings that they have in the country. Plus, we have a service that gives us about 700 multiple listing systems. Plus, we have direct feeds with a handful of multiple listing systems around the country. And what we're doing is we're trying to get all the information on every listing in the country. And we have a list that's on par with what Zillow has right now. In fact, we do better in some markets than Zillow, meaning we have more properties and more listings. But through Listing Booster, the only thing that we do is we only boost the listings of the agents who are in our system. So in other words, we will sweep a multiple listing system and we'll identify the 15 agents out of the 500 in that MLS that are working in Listing Booster, and we will pull those listings in and we will create all the marketing pieces that you guys are familiar with. But what we kind of figured out in the whole process is, well, we have all this information that we can use. How do we want to do it? So do we want to do a like a web-based interactive property search portal like Zillow has and Realtor.com and Redfin and Trulia and all that stuff? Well, the answer is no, because we're competing in a market that is already saturated, and frankly, it's well established. So we started looking at smart televisions. And by the way, the reason why I don't think anybody has a smart television-based property search portal right now is the code that you have to write for it is different than code that you're going to write for a mobile device, a tablet, or a laptop. So you have to have somebody with a specific skill set. So what we did is we got programmers and we paid them to learn how to write in this code. So before we could even put together KeyBoom, we had to pay people to figure out how to do this. Now the second step is you have to work with these companies in order for them to go ahead and approve your channels. Well, we live right outside of the Silicon Valley here in Northern California, and so all of these companies are literally a drive away from us. It's an hour and 15-minute drive to go to the headquarters of any of these companies. So I'll tell you a funny little anecdotal story. Roku is the best cord-cutting television channel device in the country. So you can get a Roku device. It's going to cost you $125 for the best one, and then you get everything for free. You buy the device, and then you don't pay for anything. And now, of course, if you want to get the premium channels like your Netflix and stuff like that, you can certainly go ahead and pay for those, but you get to pick and choose what you're paying for. On Roku right now, there are literally 1,000 channels, probably more, that you can go ahead and download for free, and you can get all of their information. So, like the History Channel, when you watch your TV, you're watching whatever the programming has at that moment. But on a smart television, you're going to the History Channel, and you can watch everything that they offer, okay? So, anyways, in order to get our channel, KeyBoom, with Roku, once we had trained or taught our programmers how to write the code, and then once we developed the channel and we made it interactive and we were happy with it, then you have to submit it. Now, the submission process takes anywhere between 2 weeks and 14 years. I mean, that's what it felt like to us. So what we did is we drove down there. Me and Frank drove down to Roku. We walked in. We're like, hey, we need to talk to somebody. And by the way, this is great sales too. Said we need to talk to somebody, and we said, so they said, okay, what's this about? I'm like, well, our channel. They said, well, people generally don't come in here. I'm like, yeah, well, we're here. So somebody came out, and we showed them the channel, and we said, this is a really great thing. They said, okay, it's going to take this long to approve. I'm like, no, but it's got to be faster. They said, well, everybody's really busy. So we said, okay, and we left. And then what me and Frank did is we bought lunch for the entire office for the next week. Every single person who worked at Roku, we went down there, we bought them pizzas on Monday, we bought them sandwiches on Tuesday, we bought them Chinese food on Wednesday, we bought them Italian food on Thursday for the entire office. It just showed up. And then on Friday, we went back down there, you know, and the note that we said is, I know that you guys are busy, so we figured you could, like, eat from your office, so we're providing lunch for you today. We bought them lunch for the entire week. We went back down there on Friday, and we walked back in, and they said, all right, guys, we get it. We get what you're doing. We ended up taking them out to sushi on the last day, and then our channel was approved 2 days after that. So we took the whole process that was going to take 6 months, and we wrapped it up in a week, and all it cost us was a bunch of deli sandwiches and chicken chow mein and some other stuff. So anyways, we built this channel out. Now, when we got it built, I wasn't really on board with this because I was thinking of televisions in a very traditional sense, you know. And so I met with my partners down in Austin, Texas. And if you've ever been to Austin, you know that it can get a little wild. So the night before, it was pretty crazy. So the next morning, I'm laying in my bed, you know, trying to just, you know, clear my head of its cobwebs. And then I get Frank and Kevin Bilberry, who you're probably looking at right now, and Kian, who's our ops manager. They come into my room, and Kevin, who's the architect of KeyBoom, plugs this thing in and shows it to me in my hotel, where I am searching properties all around the country where I can go ahead and interact with my with any real estate agent in the country. And I thought to myself, oh my God, we're going to be rich. This is great. Now I say that kind of tongue in cheek, but it wasn't until I saw it on a television that I realized how different the experience is. So to give you an idea, right here, this is Roku, okay? This right here is my Roku remote control, and right behind you in my computer is my TV. So what I have going through my computer right now is an adapter that allows me to play my TV on my computer. I bring this up because I can't demo KeyBoom to you from my computer because, as I said, the code is different. So what we have is we have something that kids use for recording video games. I don't know if you're aware of this, but that's a really popular thing for kids to record playing video games and uploading them to YouTube. And strangely, people watch this stuff. I don't know why, but they do. So we have one of those adapters, and I'm going to show you here as I turn my computer around. You're going to notice that there's my television. Okay? There's my television right there, and on that screen in the corner is exactly what you're looking at on the monitor. And so we have a TV in our office for a couple of reasons. One, because me and Frank like to watch baseball games. So what we'll do is when my beloved Giants, who are in last place with the worst record in baseball, when they play, we like to watch our games in here, or maybe we like to watch the news in here. So this is a normal functioning television, okay? But it happens to be a smart television, and so I can demo KeyBoom to you from it. Now, every television in this country right now is a smart television. You cannot buy a stupid television. They don't exist anymore. I actually did this about a year ago when we had to buy a new TV. You know, I had one of the old ones that weighs 900 pounds, you know, that's about this, you know, it's not this thick, it's this thick, and it's got like a, you know, a lead core or like a gold bullion core in the middle of the thing, and it weighs, you know, a ton. So when we got rid of that TV, I went down to Costco to buy a television. And we were right in the middle of our smart television stuff, so I started looking at all the TVs to see which one was a smart TV. And short into my search, I started looking for which one was not a smart television, because everyone's smart. So every TV that you're going to buy right now has a smart television component to it. If you're a 25-year-old kid and you're in college right now, you have a TV, but you don't have cable and you don't have a satellite. And as this generation gets older, their normal experience with a television is going to be that of a smart television. Like I said, gone are the day of satellites. You're not going to have those anymore. So we're not going to get rid of televisions, but how televisions function in our life is going to be different. And I would say, well, and it's going to happen down the road, but it's already happened. It's already happened. So as a Listing Booster user, one of the great things you have is you have the only access to manipulate or to use to your advantage smart television technology. Again, I'm going to reiterate, you cannot get this through Zillow, you cannot get this through Trulia, Redfin, Realtor.com, or any of those other sites. The only interactive smart television property search portal in the country is ours. Zillow has one, it's not interactive. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to demo, looking at my TV behind you, I'm going to demo KeyBoom. So I'm going to back out of here right now, okay? So if you have a Roku TV, you have all your channels. So here's what we have on here. We have Amazon, Radio, HBO, Hulu, you know, we have all these different type of things, which, by the way, I can also go, check this out. Okay, CBS, our sports channels, all the stuff that we like. Okay, by the way, Smoky Ribs, great channel if you like to cook. I mean, super, super cool. We our local news, anything that you can think of. So these are the channels that we've downloaded for our use. And so anyways, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my KeyBoom channel, and I'm going to hit go. So now it's going to pull KeyBoom up. Perfect. Andrew. Oh, never mind. Okay, so the reason you saw that a moment ago, where it showed that kind of that purplish color with a line through it, is on channels, if you have anything like a movie, they don't allow these adapters to work. And the reason for that is I could go get a pay-per-view movie, and then I could plug it into my TV, I could plug it into my computer, and I would be able to record that pay-per-view movie, download it, and then upload it for other people to use for free. So they have what they have in here is they have filters that don't allow you to use certain things as far as the adapter goes. And the only reason that showed up there for a moment was because of the adapter. Now what happens here is this is going to, KeyBoom is going to automatically determine where I live, the area that I'm around, and then it's going to pull up the cities that are around me. So you notice we have Dixon, Vacaville, we live in Vacaville, Fairfield, Winters, Napa, Allendale, Sassoon, and Davis. So Kevin could probably answer this for me, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this is probably a 30-mile radius around me, or cities within 30 miles or 25 miles of where I'm at in Vacaville. So as a consumer now, imagine that you're sitting there, you know, on your couch, or maybe you're going to KeyBoom, you know, when you're looking for properties, you're at work, and you like some properties, and maybe your wife likes some properties, and then you get home, you know, you're done with your day at work, you know, you handcuff your children to the base of your toilet for the rest of the night, and then you and your wife sit down, have a cocktail, and pull up the television, And then you guys can actually look at the properties that you both liked together. Hey, hun, what do you think about this one? What do you think about this one? Or what you can do is just sit down and search. So I'm going to search Vacaville, California, okay? And it's going to pull up all the properties for sale in Vacaville. Now, one of the great things about KeyBoom is that we're only working with the multiple listing systems. And so what that means is we are not getting properties that are FSBOs that have been sold and haven't been taken down. We don't have ones that might be listed, as you find on all these other aggregators that piss off real estate agents. So when you're looking at properties on KeyBoom, you're always looking at inventory that's actually for sale. So what happens here is, by the way, if you look at the top of the screen, I can go ahead and filter my search to anything I want. I can filter it by bedrooms, bathrooms, if I want, farm property, if I want condos, if I want land, if I want single property websites, and what my price range is. I can go ahead and very easily with my remote go ahead and make a filter here. And by the way, I want you to see how easy and seamless this is. You think with a television this is going to be difficult, but watch how easy I can maneuver it. So I'm looking at the properties on the left, and then what it's doing is it's showing me where they're located on a map on the right. Now, I like this house right here. This one's on Buttercup Circle in Vacaville. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And again, I'm doing this on my television behind you. I'm looking at this on a 55-inch television screen, an HD television screen. So what KeyBoom is doing here is it's pulling all the properties from the MLSs. And here's what shows up immediately when I click on the property. It's going to have a picture of the house along with the sales price, the property address, the bedrooms, the bathrooms, when it was built, the square footage. Now, KeyBoom is telling me what I can do here. I can go ahead and click down on my remote control for my television, and I can go ahead and get more information. But if I go to the left or the right, it's going to pull up all the other pictures of the property. And here's a picture of somebody's 1985 Sea-Doos and trash on the other side of that trailer. A picture clearly that real estate agent should not have taken. But here's the thing: it's pulling the pictures from the multiple listing system, so the pictures are going to be as good as what the real estate agent takes. Now, okay, so we've got 3 pictures. She didn't get anything on the inside, which leads me personally to believe that it's probably a dump on the inside. I mean, let's face it. If this is one of your best pictures, if this is one of 3, what do you think it looks like on the inside? Okay, but I can go ahead now and I can scroll down again with my remote, and it's going to give me the descriptors. Now, this is all the real estate agent put on the property, that it's a beautiful tri-level home with plenty of room for the family, very desirable area in Vacaville. Well, I don't like this house because I don't like the 3 pictures. I think it's probably a dump. I wouldn't want to live there. So I'm going to back out and start looking at other properties. Okay. Ooh, I like that one. Okay. And I like the name. It's Gentile Lane. What a cool name. Gentile Lane. Look at that yard. Okay, I like the single floor because I got bad knees. Let's see the pictures. Now we're talking. Look at this place. All right. Look at the ceilings. They got that like beveled and higher ceilings there, which is cool. All right, I'm liking this house. Real hardwood floors, it looks like. $747, pretty expensive. 2,600 square feet, enough for me to ignore my wife and not find her in the house all day. I'm kind of liking it. Okay, so now look at, I got 37 pictures. I could look. Now this realtor did a great job. Love this house. Now, okay, we found something that we like, so I'm going to scroll down, and again with my remote, I'm just going to go down. Now it's going to give me the descriptors and all the features of the property. I can go ahead and add this to my favorites. Okay, I want you to take note of that. I can add this to my favorites. Don't forget that. Now I'm going to scroll down again. I can zoom in, I can zoom out, and I can go ahead and I can look at the satellite view if I choose to. So I can go ahead and I can really look at this place. Now what we have here is it's going to give you the street side view from Google. Now here's a very interesting point, guys, I want to point out to you. And again, this is only for you Listing Booster users. So Kevin called us up one day and he says, hey, Google shut us down. And I said, Google, like the street side view, what you're looking at here, they shut us down. Well, why the hell would they shut us down? Well, they shut us down because we were getting more than 25,000 views a day. So Google sees this, okay, and they says, well, clearly they're doing something that's making money. So Google wanted to get money from us. So the bad news is Google shut us down and they want money. The good news is The reason they shut us down and want money is because without any advertising or anything whatsoever, we've already got 25,000 plus people who are looking at this right now. So you might ask yourself, are people actually looking at this as a means of finding properties? And the answer is emphatically yes. Imagine when we start marketing this. Okay, now I can continue scrolling down. Now check this out. The agent here is Barrett Adams. I happen to know Barrett, okay? So I want to see this property because it's Vacaville. I know who Barrett is, but check it out. With my remote, you're looking at right here, I'm going to click, yeah, I want to see this property. And look what it says. Your feedback is being sent to Barrett Adams. Okay. So what Barrett just got from me, it says, Brian Stevens, here's my phone number, here's my email. Brian Stevens is interested in seeing your property on this address. He's interested in getting more information on this property on this address. So I have just communicated through my television to this real estate agent about this property. And if Barrett's smart, he'll be calling me. But because Barrett knows me, he'll probably know I'm demoing this. Okay, so I can go ahead here. All right, I tell him I want to see this property or I want to get more information. So now he knows I want to see it and I want more information, and those emails are sitting in his inbox now. Think about that, guys. I am communicating to any real estate agent in the country on their listings through my TV, and it's absolutely seamless. Now I can go ahead and I can email this to a friend if I choose to. All I have to do is click here, and of course I got my descriptors. Now, so this is Vacaville, but I'm going to demo one more thing here for you on this, a couple things. So let's say I don't want to search one of the cities that it's pulling up around me. Now, Michael Fisher, what city are you in? All right. Kevin, what city are you in?
Indian Shores, Florida.
All right, let's pull up Indian Shores. Now, I don't know anything about Indian Shores, Florida, but I'm thinking, because I don't know the city, it's probably a pretty small city. Okay? So let's find Indian Shores.
Man, you gotta, if I could say something, man, you're on an old version. Looks like some of this interface still looks old. Well, not old, but you know, we've updated a lot of things.
Well, you know, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
So in a matter of just a couple of minutes, just a couple of seconds here, I'm in Indian Shores. Oh yeah. Look at that. It's on that little peninsula there. Global warming is going to fix you real quick. Okay.
And by the way, that first house right there, I own that. That's a vacation rental. If anybody wants to come to Shores. It's on.
You might not want to say that.
All right.
Okay. So, all right. So Indian Shores, it's clearly a very small town. But again, I want to use this to illustrate that Listing Booster is really in every city. I was going to pull up something in Michigan, but I didn't hear from Michael. Look at this place.
Oh, I was muted. Sorry.
What's
that?
You
could try Southline, Michigan. You could try Southline, Michigan, perhaps.
I think I'm enjoying Indian Shores right now. Look at this place.
You'll probably enjoy it a lot more. Yeah.
Look at this. Would you look at this house? Jesus. Look at this place.
It's a condo.
Oh my God. I want to move here. Okay. So now, again, this is a live property. Real bullets. I can't afford it. But nevertheless, what I'm going to do, let's see, street side view, and there it is. Yeah, it's a condo. All right. Well, I'm going to tell this agent that I want to see this property. All right. Let's see if he calls me up.
So let me explain what's going on there.
No. Go ahead. I know what's going on here now.
Well, you're in an older version, and you're connected to Barrett Adams, which you didn't get into that. Maybe because I've got the newer version pulled up. If you want to have me share my screen, I can show them that.
Well, hang tight real quick.
Okay.
Hang tight. Okay. So you're seeing Barrett Adams here right now. This leads me to my next point. Okay. So now, again, what I wanted to show you is how seamlessly we can go ahead and we can pull up any city. And by the way, now that we pulled up Indian Shores, it's going to pull up cities around Indian Shores. And again, you can do any city in the country here. Now, I backed out. Okay. So what's going to happen if you sign up is you're going to send that information. Here's where it doesn't want you to. This is because the adapter is going to come through here. Now,
that's a video.
Right. So what I'm doing is all my information is going to my designated agent of choice, because I remember I told you I know Barrett Adams, so I had demoed this before, and I had made Barrett Adams my designated agent of choice. Now, if you don't designate an agent, the information is going to go to the listing agent. Now, as a consumer, as is the case in the real world, I have an agent who I call my preferred real estate agent. And in that case, it was Barrett Adams. So any one of your consumers, and imagine the sales component to this, guys, when you're talking to your real estate agents and using this, you want to make sure that you're telling them to tell their consumers, their clients, to designate them as their agents. How hard is it to do? Well, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to assign an agent. Now, I've got Barrett Adams, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up Carrie Foley, who's another agent I know really well.
That's a real old interface, man. You want to pass it to me? I can show them what it looks like now.
Okay, here's Carrie Foley. Okay, now I'm going to click on Carrie Foley, and I'm going to connect with her. Now, Carrie Foley is now my designated real estate agent. Okay, so any listing that I have or anything that I like, Carrie's going to get that information. Imagine how powerful this is from a consumer standpoint and from a sales standpoint. You know how 20 years ago, if you've been in this stuff as long as we have, you would get your magnet cards. And the whole idea of a magnet card is you put it on your, your fridge, and people tell you, well, they're going to look at it every day for the next 10 years, whatever the case is. So you're always going to be in front of somebody. Now, imagine if you have a real estate agent that you're working with, okay? And you've pre-qualified that buyer. So that buyer is going to buy a house from one of your real estate agents. And let's say the sales price is $200,000. It doesn't matter. Pick a sales, but $200,000 is an easy one. So that means that agent is going to get between $6,000 and $12,000 on that transaction, depending if they, do one side or both sides of the transaction. So let's assume they do one side of the transaction. There's a $6,000 commission in there for the real estate agent. Now, what if your real estate agent, once they knew this person's buying a house from me, had a Roku stick that you can get for $39, okay? And at the beginning of that transaction, after you've pre-qualified this person, and this is just a matter of time before they buy a house, that you and or your real estate agent gave them a $39 Roku stick. And a Roku stick looks like a flash drive, okay? And so it's got your USB little toggle in it, and all you have to do is any TV that was built in probably the last 10 years, you plug that into your television. Now, if you have broadband in your house, which I think everybody in the country has now, you can go ahead and sync that to your broadband, and you can go ahead and shut that TV off, and it now becomes a smart television, okay? And so what that consumer can do at that point is they designate their agent, your agent, as their agent of record, okay? And once they do that, whenever your consumer, that client, is at their house looking at properties on their television and they like anything or they want more information on it, it's going to go to your real estate agent. Now, that Roku stick allows you to watch TV, do whatever the hell you want to do. You're basically giving them free TV. Hey, by the way, you're buying a house for me? Here, congratulations. You can now shut off your $200 cable bill and you can get TV for free. There's no recurring cost to this, okay? All you do is hook it up to your broadband and you're moving. Oh, and by the way, you want to go to Keyboom, and then once you go to Keyboom, look at any of the properties and make sure you designate me as your agent of record. And once you do that, anything that you're looking at, I'll see what you're checking out, and so I can go ahead and research that for you in the future. So you buy this for them. Now your agent is connected with actual listings. We know they're not dead listings like you find on Zillow and some of the other sites because we don't use that information. Now, let's say that transaction closes, okay? So the transaction closes and everybody's done. Your influence and your real estate agent's influence on that client diminishes after every day that transaction closes. Your clients want to talk to you when they're in the middle of a transaction. Your clients want to talk to your real estate agents when they're in the middle of the transaction. But once they get their keys, they go back to their life and they worry about what their kids are doing. Softball games, baseball games, work, neighbors, barbecues, sports, whatever they do. But they're not thinking of you after the transaction closes. You know, a good salesperson stays in front of their past clients by sending them valuable information. Okay, that's the idea of being a great database marketer. But really, when you think about it, when that transaction closes, I mean, it's a very arrogant place to be to think that they give a shit about you. I mean, they don't. I want you to think about this. When was the last time you bought a car? Now, think to yourself, what was the name of that salesperson? See? Right? You liked him at the moment, but afterwards, it's not that you don't care. It's just that it's not part of your life. So say 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, okay, your past client is sitting there at their house, and they got a Super Bowl party going on, and their best friend comes over, and their best friend says, you know what, man, I think I'd like to live in this neighborhood, boy. I think I got a raise, or we got another kid, or something happened, and boy, this is a really great place to live. I think we want to move over here. And say your client says, oh, you do? Now, instead of watching Beyonce on the halftime show, they click over to Roku, or excuse me, they click over to Keyboom on their TV and say, oh, check it out. I can actually look at properties right from my TV. The guy says, hey, man, look at that house. And then your past client showing off says, oh, yeah, check it out. We'll get information on that property. Slam. And from their TV, from the remote, they hit, I want more information on that, and then they go back to watching the Super Bowl. Guess what? Your real estate agent just got that information 2 years, 3 years, 6 months down the road, whatever the case may be. And it's indefinite. As long as they're using smart televisions, which they're going to do, and they don't change your agent will always get that lead and be the only person to get that lead because we don't sell anything off. So now your agent goes and calls that person and says, hey, Bobby, notice you looked at a property over there in Indian Shores. Are you thinking about buying it? And Bobby says, no, I'm not thinking about buying it. I love where I live. It was my buddy. I was showing him this whole thing when we were watching the Super Bowl. And your real estate agent says, oh, is that so? Well, can I get your friend's name and phone number so I can get more information and see if I can go ahead and sell him that house? Bobby says, totally. And what happens there is you and your real estate agent just got a lead. Now imagine if you and or your real estate agent invested $39 on every purchase that you have to give everybody smart televisions forever. You and your agents will be connected to anything they search forever, and your leads are never sold off. Okay? And that's a huge thing. When you consider that real estate agents right now, the only way to participate with Zillow is to be a premier agent. The only way to be a premier agent is to spend thousands and thousands of dollars with Zillow. In fact, I'd be willing to bet half of you on this line right now are paying for or have been propositioned by your real estate agents to share in this enormous cost. Okay? So what we have is we have a cheaper, much more inexpensive way of being the only person to get the leads off the listings that your agents have. So how does this work for you in sales? Okay, so let's say you as a loan officer, you're going up to real estate agents, and I hear this all the time. You know, when you're trying to get real estate agents to work with you in your Listing Booster account. Okay, here's why people quit. They say, well, no agents want to work with me. Well, why don't they want to work with you? Well, they don't want to work with me because they already have single property websites. They already have virtual tours. Their company offers it. Okay, well, the truth of the matter is that the internet is indefinite in size. It's like the universe, but bigger. So having more marketing pieces simply means that you're increasing the probability that you as a real estate agent is going to get a lead. All right? Well, I don't want to work with you in Listing Booster because I already have a preferred loan officer. All right, you got a preferred loan officer. Here's the deal. We say this time and time again to nauseam. Don't ever tell a real estate agent not to work with you in your Listing Booster account because you want to be their preferred lender. You know, if they got a preferred lender, you know, oh, Victor's your preferred lender. Great, keep working with Victor. Victor's wonderful. He's awesome. He totally kicks ass. I would never want to get in between a relationship with you and Victor. All I'm saying is if I bring something different of value to you and we generate leads from this one vertical that me and you were doing, maybe we could just work these leads together and keep giving all your business to Victor or Bobby or whoever else. You know, these are the objections we find. You know, and then here's the other one that you can always point out is you can say, if they say, well, my company already has this, here's what you say to them. Does your company put you and your listings on the only interactive property search portal on televisions? And the answer is no, because nobody's got it but you Listing Booster users. Now here's what you need to do. You need to go invest $39 into a Roku stick. Now Roku stick, you can travel with it, okay? You take your Roku stick, and you can go into real estate offices. You can go anywhere you want to go with that thing, and when you plug it into a TV, it makes it a smart television. So, how many real estate offices have televisions in them? A lot of them do. If they don't, bring your own. They're only $200. Who cares? Okay? But now you can go into a real estate office. Imagine how powerful this is, guys. This is worth the price of admission alone. So you go into a real estate office, you call them up, and you say, I want to speak with the office manager. Now, the great thing about office managers is they always are looking for ways to make their agents more effective and close more deals. That's it. If you have a way of making their agents more successful in closing deals, they will listen to you. So you call up an office manager and say, I got something I want to demo for you. I have a way of making you and your listings and your agents and putting you on smart televisions for everybody to see all across the country. I'd like to demo this for you. Would you be okay with it? And if they say no, move on to the next one. There's enough to go around. Or ask why if you choose to. But when you get into that real estate office, you bring your $39 Roku stick. And by the way, you've already demoed this before, so you know how to work it. Okay? You're going to plug it into a TV in there, and then what you're going to say is, "What's your broadband? What's your password?" You're going to put your password in, so it lights up. Now you have a Listing Booster account already, so you already have your agents in there. So you're going to type in your city, and you're going to pull up agents that you're working with, and you're going to say, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing right now. I can go ahead and make your agents featured with their picture, with your logo, with their phone number, where all of your listings will show up at the beginning of the search, at the front of the search, on this site, if you work with me in my Listing Booster account. And oh, by the way, let's have a conversation with that, because my Listing Booster account is also another way to make you more successful. And when a office manager sees their listings on a smart television and realizes that this is a way for them to get more business, you will sign that entire office up. Now, we've done this before, and that's exactly how it works. We've demoed this with 50 million real estate agents, and every time they see it on a television, they say, oh my God, I can't believe this. Okay? So it's a great way for you to get agents into your Listing Booster account. Okay? Then once you get them into your Listing Booster account, you're going to want to work those deals in the ways that Michael Fisher and TJ have been teaching over the past couple of weeks. Now, the best way to work, and you're going to hear this from Victor too, the best way to work your Listing Booster account is to empower your real estate agents. Don't just sign them up. You want your real estate agents to understand how their Listing Booster account works. Okay? And as you saw from last week, Michael showed you he's got agents who have in excess of 800, 900 leads in there in their own individual Listing Booster account. And it's been done in a very short period of time. Okay? So the reason why these agents are doing so well is because Michael Fisher spends his time sitting down with these agents and showing them how to use the account and how to make it successful for themselves. And once they realize that, they're more likely to engage in the activities that are going to make them successful, because he showed them the roadmap and he showed them what the result is going to be. In a very similar fashion, with your KeyBoom account, when you're sitting down with your real estate agents, this is how you're providing value to your agents. When you're sitting down with your real estate agents, you're going to want to tell them, make this part of your listing presentation. And we're going to give you the marketing pieces that they can use in their listing presentation. Because, a couple of years ago, depending on your market, but a couple of years ago, anybody was getting a listing, right? So you're going to give your listing to your best friend, your sister, your brother, your aunt, your uncle, whoever the case is. But now, in so many markets, real estate is competitive, and properties are selling more than what their list price is or what their asking price is. So the difference in a sale on a house right now could be, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, that margin. Now, I want to work with my brother. I want to work with my aunt, my uncle, my mom, whoever it is, as my real estate agent. But if I've got $40,000 on the table that I either will make or not make, depending on the agent that I have, I might work with somebody else. So what you're starting to find in most markets is savvy sellers are starting to actually interview real estate agents again and saying, okay, I'm selling my house. You're going to make a fortune on this thing. What are you going to do for me? And so what's a real estate agent going to say? Well, I'm going to put your house on the multiple listing system. Awesome. I'm going to hold your house open. Awesome. I'm going to advertise it in our local newspaper. Awesome. I'm going to build a website. I'm going to have you on my IDX feed. I'm going to put you on Zillow. I mean, what are they going to say? These are the things they're going to say. But strangely, these are the things that every agent is going to say. You do not distinguish yourself by saying the obvious, the painfully obvious, and yet this is what every agent does. So when your real estate agents go on these listing presentations and that seller says, what are you going to do for me? Are you going to make a single property website? Are you going to hold my house open? Your agent's going to say, of course. It's assumed that you're going to do all those things. Of course I'm going to do that. I will have your virtual tour, your single property website, and your mobile technology up and running tomorrow, and I'm going to send you links to all of those. But I'm assuming everybody says that. Of course I'm going to hold your house open. Of course I'm going to invite people from my database. Of course I'm going to put it in the multiple listing system. These things are obvious. Of course you're going to be on Zillow, on Truly, on Redfin. Of course you are. But when you list with me, I'm going to do a number of things different. Not only am I going to leverage my database, I'm going to leverage your database. I'm going to leverage different sites, social sites within our community where I'm going to get your property in front of people where we have lead capture, as Michael showed you last week or 2 weeks ago. And I'm gonna hunt down every one of these people who showed interest in your house and see if they want to buy it. So we're gonna sell your house. We're gonna sell your house for top dollar as quick as humanly possible. I'm going to do that. I'm going to leverage your database because maybe the seller is going to come from the people that you know, and I will draft up the email for you along with a single property website that has a lead capture on it. We're going to send it to the people that you know. But in addition to that, when you list with me, your property is not only going to be on, but it's going to be featured on the only interactive property search portal on televisions. That's what you get when you list with me. In fact, let me show you. And then your real estate agent's going to take that $39 Roku stick, plug it into their smart TV, because remember, all TVs are smart now. They're going to plug it in, and everyone's got broadband, and they're going to pull up their listings. Here's what I do. So people are searching this on televisions all around the country, and the only way you can get this is through us. It's not a Zillow thing. It's not a Trulia thing. It's things that you as a seller know about. The only way that you can get this is through us right now. I bring so much more value to the table. These are the reasons why you should list with me. And in certain instances, your agents, because of their relationship with you, are going to get listings where they otherwise wouldn't. And everybody knows I don't give a crap what a real estate agent says. Every real estate agent in the country wants to be a listing agent. They don't want to be a seller's agent. They want to list. And by working with you, you give them a better chance of getting more listings. And because of that, they will work with you in your Listing Booster account, and you will get access to more of their listings, which means you're going to be able to do all the great strategies, techniques, and tools that we're providing through you to Listing Booster to make not only yourself more successful, but make them more successful in the process. And we know this not from a theoretical standpoint. We know this from an application standpoint. We see loan officers doing this stuff right now and absolutely kicking ass with it. Like I said, we're going to have Victor on here. Victor uses our system in ways that is so incredibly remarkable. Victor uses it's beyond what we do, but how he integrates his Listing Booster account into what he does with his marketing to his agents is mind-numbingly cool. So, again, what's your call to action right now, guys? Your call to action is this, very simple. Go to Best Buy, go to Amazon, get the Roku stick, check it out. As Kevin told you, there's a new and improved version of this. But again, it's easy to maneuver, it's easy to figure out, and by the way, it's totally fun to look at properties. Here's what I'm going to recommend when you do this. First of all, congratulations. When you buy that $39 stick, if you want to, you can get rid of your $200 cable bill because you get everything for free. But the second part of it, when you go there, when you get your Amazon stick, go to Aspen, Colorado, and just start looking at properties over $3 million. It's totally fun to do. And it's a different burn. Watching it on your couch from your TV, it's hugely addictive. When we first started, yeah, please.
This is the Roku Express. Good news is this is half the money you're saying. It's $19.99.
Oh, it is? It's
yeah,
20 bucks
yeah. They came out with this, and this thing is, you know, the difference in the models is, you know, some are more powerful than others. Roku 4 is about $100, you know, because it's got a, you know, faster processor in it. This is good enough to run KeyBoom, and it's good enough to watch Netflix and other stuff like that. And what one agent here did, and I've got a sample of it here, she actually had stickers made and put them on there. So it's got, you know, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a KeyBoom sticker with her name on there, her KeyBoom ID, and basically says, you know, connect me on KeyBoom. and they plug that in their TV, so the agent's name is always on there.
Kevin, I just
So-
handed off this. I handed off the screen to you.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, let me open this up. So I don't know if can you see my Roku now?
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing. You know, again, and you know, her thinking was, you know, for $19, $20, you know, I mean, it's a no-brainer to give that to myself, but to my buyers. You know, some agents have commented that they would, you know, if they sign their buyer agreement, that they'll give them a free Roku. Well, you know, $20, it's not a bad investment. So this is what the new interface looks like for Agent Connect. So like Amy Schultz is a fake agent I have on here. We just use this for testing purposes. But we've given them like a, you know, we've prettied it up. You know, they have their own screen. Yeah, it's kind of, okay, there we go. By the way, it's not doing that on the TV. It's at Elgato. It's the Xbox recording device, which isn't the best thing. It's all we got, man. But they can connect right through here. There's information about the agent now on there, the areas that they cover. You know, then they got you can scroll down a little bit, and it tells the consumer what Agent Connect is. You know, are you working with Amy Schultz? The thought behind this, and Brian's already talked about this a bit, but the thought behind this was, you know, with Keyboom, you know, we didn't want to be another Zillow or, you know, selling leads and you know, and really irritating the professional industry. We wanted to create something that's friendly to realtors and to MLSs. So I kind of call this buyer agent protection, because see, once I go in here and you know, I can see her listings and all that, but I'm going to go in here, I'm going to hit connect. Okay, now I've successfully connected to Amy. So now when I go in and look at properties, every listing that I'm going to look at is going to have Amy's information on there because she's my realtor. And then I can click a property, and Brian already kind of showed you this. That panel's similar, but scroll down to that. So now it's got, you know, to Amy's on there. I want to see this. I want more information on this property. She also gets notified when properties are saved. And this will send out an cron job, which means she's not gonna, you know, she's not gonna get emailed every time I click that, because then, you know, she's got like, you know, a couple buyers on here to, you know, clicking several of these a day. She's gonna be getting bombarded with emails. So it works on a cron job. So at the end of the day, she'll get notified, you know, what properties the person's interested in. The other thing too is, I know that's your Elgato is behaving better than mine. Mine's kind of messed up, but anyway, you see it's got her information on there. It really personalizes the channel to her or to the agent. And you know, and this is good for listing agents too, because if I'm a listing agent and I got a property out there, and you know, and I don't want people inquiring on it that are already working with a realtor. It's their agent's job to get them information, so I don't want to be bothered. And that's what this does. You know, and everything is displayed, you know, to be in compliance. You know, at the very bottom, they will see who the listing agent is. ListHub requires that of us, and we're not trying to hide anything, but we're really trying to make it just a better experience, not only for the consumer, but also for the real estate professionals involved as well. So the other little thing here is we changed the interface of the search. You know, yeah, it looks like it's splitting up my screen. But anyway, it's what it is. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. Now, and Brian, I really just wanted to mention, the only reason I was really interrupting you, I wanted to be clear that these things will have to play.
No, I appreciate that. It's $20, but it's a small price to pay. Okay, hey, listen, we got 4 minutes left here. A couple things I want to get across. We have Michael Fisher on here and TJ Barker. And so what we've been doing with you guys is we're bringing different training to you every week. If you want to be more in touch with us, please do this. You want to go to mortgageshots.com. And then you want to go to Kills Coaching and give us your information, and we'll put you in our private group. So rather than a once-a-week webinar, you guys will get us all the time whenever you choose to, and it's a more interactive experience. All you have to do is go to mortgageshots.com, and then the tabs across the top, go to the Kills group, give us your information, and we'll pop you in there. There's no strings attached, guys. You know us. I've been doing this stuff for years. Jump into it, be a part of what we're doing, and participate with us. We're having a lot of fun with it. MortgageShots.com, go to Kills, give us your information. Okay, with that said, I want to answer a couple questions here. So, anybody who wants to jump in, these might be more Kevin directed right now. Kevin, you have 10 seconds for every question, so don't go on, or I'm going to cut you off. Okay.
All right.
Victor asks, how does the agent then get or receive our consumer information?
It goes. Well, it'll go to an email. Like when somebody inquires on a property, But again, it's done on a cron job, unless it's their listing. If it's the agent's listing, then they get the email instantly.
Okay, so Victor says, where does the agent contact information come from? Yes, it comes from the multiple listing system, and we're pulling directly from MLS and their profiles.
Or the
Okay.
or the listing booster profile if they're in listing booster.
Okay, you should have a Premier agent account. One's looking in a designated area who do not have an agent. You refer that client like selling leads to agents. Does that sound familiar? Okay, you should have a Premier agent.
Well, if a buyer doesn't have a buyer agent, they can put in their city under Agent Connect, and it'll pull up like agents, that are in that market that are using Listing Booster.
Okay, Mark McVeigh says, are you or do you have any plans to go KeyBoom set up on Fire Stick?
It's already on Fire Stick.
Okay.
And by the way, I want to quickly say this about Amazon. Amazon released a new operating system, and they did it in stages. And they only gave certain people the new operating system, and we were unaware of it. And KeyBoom stopped working on the new one. So if you look at our Amazon reviews, we've got a few bad reviews because people were saying it kept crashing and we were like, well, it's not crashing. And we finally figured out what was going on because they didn't give us a new operating system until like just last week. So the negative reviews are because it was crashing, but it's good it's good now.
Okay, Brian Sachs asks if these are recorded. Yes, they're recorded. It's going to be sent to you 3 hours after this thing concludes. And if you want to go get our previous sessions that we had, and they've been absolutely fantastic that TJ and Mike did. I mean, they're kick-ass. They will make you better loan officers. You can go ahead and get those in Mortgage Shots Kills. So again, mortgageshots.com. Go to Kills, give us your information, be part of the community. Tess says, will there be any problems if you have numerous agents? Is there any notification to the loan officer?
No, all your agents go in there. And so let me be clear. And so I'm going to be upfront with this. There's two ways agents can be in the Agent Connect search functionality. They either have to be in Listing Booster, or they can sign up we have something called KeyBoom Pro. I'm not going to get into that right now, but if they don't have Listing Booster, they can sign up that way and get on there and have some other little extra perks that we're not going to talk about right now. But with Listing Booster, they do get the functionality. They get in there. So if you have 50 agents in your Listing Booster account, they're all 50 going to go there.
They're all there right now.
Right. They're already there now. Yeah, exactly. They're already there.
Right.
Yeah.
So this becomes a really powerful tool in in your toolbox, guys. As loan officers, we haven't talked about this because we haven't been sure what we're going to do with it. We've been working on it for 3 years, guys. I mean, we've got I'm just going to be candid. We got $500,000 in programming in this thing right now. So we've spent a lot of time, money, energy, and resources on this, and this is really only for Listing Booster users right now. So you have a very powerful tool. So what you want to do, like I said, go spend the $20, and check it out, and then bring this to your agents. Go to these offices, do demos, and say, you guys get all the badass functionality if you're working with me, okay? And nobody else can offer this. As I told you before, the reason why me and Frank succeeded with the National Real Estate Post and Think Big Work Small wasn't because how great we were, which we are, or not because how handsome we are, which we're fucking gorgeous. It's because we were the only ones doing it, okay? So we had a captive audience. Right now, every loan officer on this call, you have a captive audience. It's a $20 stick. Go get it, sign up, check it out. Put your cap on, become the traveling salesperson, go into these real estate offices, and it will be amazing how many agents you'll be able to set up in a very short period of time. Because agents, let's be honest about this. We're going to play to a little bit of their arrogance, and we all like to see ourselves, right? And when somebody sees themselves on a television, it's a huge, pat on the back for your ego. So, and by the way, in the process, it does great stuff for you. Yeah.
Mention what Frank's. Frank's mom's. Frank's mom's a broker, right? What
right.
She's doing with it. She's got the TV in the lobby there where the customers come in, and she connects herself on there. So when the clients are waiting, they just they can sit there and browse houses right on the TV. It's connected to her, so they're seeing her face on everything.
Hey, I got something. Seriously, think about this one for a second, guys. Let's say you got a Roku TV. You can get a Roku TV for $200, a bitchin' one. Let's say you took that Roku TV and you programmed it. You put you in there, you and one of your real estate agents. And then let's say you went to a dentist office, or you went to a nail place or a hair salon, and they don't have a TV. Find one without a TV and say, hey, can I throw this TV in here where people can look for properties while they're waiting? You know, and you're the one who's programmed in there. How many people go through a hair salon over the course of a month, or a dentist office over the course of a month? I mean, think about how many people in your community, for a one-time investment of $200, you plop one of these TVs and program yourself in there. How many people are looking at this stuff? And it's all you. I mean, again, we're just starting to really scrape the surface of all the things that you could do with KeyBoom. But at the bare minimum, Ellos, you have this right now. It's a tool in your toolbox. Make sure you spend the $20. Check this thing out. Hit offices up. You will pick up agents, you know, in a fashion or more quickly, or provide more value to the agents that you're currently working with, and offering something remarkably unique that your competition simply isn't doing. So with that said, I know that we kind of, me and Kevin kind of took this one over. We got TJ on here. I appreciate you being here. Kevin Bilberry, appreciate it. Michael Fisher. Make sure you guys go to mortgageshots.com, go to Kills Coaching, be a part of that, and we're going to start really ramping that thing up here in the next week. With that said, thank you, everybody, and you'll have a recording of this in the next 3 hours. See you soon. KeyBoom. $20. $20. Later, guys.
Good luck.
Yes.